Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Thursday, December 6th, 10 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. Take a look at the GFS models for total snowfall. The South is going to be buried, as we predicted 4 days ago. Western North Carolina is going to see record snowfall totals in all the areas, and a secondary storm moving up through Indiana, Illinois, Ohio will bring record snows to the Northeast well before Christmas. Take a look at the totals in British Columbia and the Cascades of Washington. Amazing totals, especially in New York State. Keep calm, it's boom time. It's your time. Snow to blanket the South this weekend in a major winter storm. For those of you that don't know what snow is, we have a primer.
Basically three types of winter precipitation: snow, freezing rain, and sleet. Snow is pretty simple. Basically, the temperature at all levels of the atmosphere are below 32 degrees. When it lands, you have the beautiful white stuff. Where it gets tricky is when you have freezing rain or sleet. And to understand this, you have to go high into the atmosphere. Both sleet and freezing rain start as a snowflake high in the atmosphere. As it makes its descent, they both melt into a raindrop. As it's entering the lower levels of the atmosphere, sleet will refreeze into basically an ice pellet. At this point, freezing rain is still just a raindrop. The difference is, as it gets closer to the surface and makes contact, sleet you will be able to hear. It bounces off of everything because it's that little ice pellet. Freezing rain, though, will freeze on contact, making an icy glaze.
We call that freezing haze. A significant winter storm will take shape beginning Friday over the southern plains and Texas and spread this weekend through the southeast and mid-Atlantic. How far south freezing air will reach remains an open question, making it difficult to precisely forecast ice and snow accumulation. But the situation will cause frustration from Lubbock to Oklahoma City, Little Rock, Nashville, Charlotte. Whew. You're getting lucky. You're just east of the bullseye. Winter storm watches are already in place Thursday for 6 million people in northern Texas, Oklahoma, and parts of Arkansas and Missouri. As the storm develops, forecast models will more accurately predict what will happen. Here's Texas and Oklahoma. Give me 2 or 3 Soma. Amarillo, that means yellow. Lubbock, Elk City, Oklahoma City, Norman, Fort Smith. You are all going to get hit. Don't call me Schmidt. The primary precipitation will begin on Friday, with freezing rain and drizzle in the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, possibly into central Okie. Have a schmoky. The main winter weather impacts will occur late Friday, which could be fun tie day, depending on where you work, with a quick transition from wintry mix to snow after midnight Friday for places including Oklahoma City, which will get totally shitty. Instantly, precipitation in eastern Oklahoma won't turn into snow until Saturday. But then it'll be a schmatter day. Ice accumulations in Texas and Oklahoma could reach 1/4 of an inch in a pinch, respectively. Snowfall in these areas could also drop 6 inches. Expect dangerous travel conditions and power outages. Do you have backup supplies? Come on, don't lies. Oklahoma City is expected to get 1/10 of 1/4 of an inch of ice, plus 4 to 6 inches of snow, and your car will not go on those roads. Tulsa, Oklahoma will see less ice and snow, with ice accumulations near 1/10 of an inch and 2 to 3 inches of snow. Whew. In Texas, the winter weather will stay in the Panhandle and the Red River Valley. Large amounts of rain will impact major Texas cities, including Dallas and Houston. More than 13 million people will be under flood or flash flood watch in eastern Texas. Like San Antonio, Houston, they could see flash flooding and rainfalls. Totals could see 3 to 6 inches. Wow, that is as much as 10. Arkansas and western Tennessee, you're about to see Mountain View, Fayette, Fort Smith, Russellville, Little Rock. Whew. Bill Clinton's boyhood home is in that area. Look at the ice up here. Oh, gosh. Friday afternoon through Saturday, most of Arkansas won't feel their precipitation until Friday, with some rain early in the south and central portions of the state. Winter weather won't begin until overnight hours and will transform eastward Saturday morning. Impacts, flooding rains, wintry mix, mountain snow. Southern half of Arkansas will get caught up in similar situation as East Texas, with flash flooding possible. The Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas region could see 4 to 5 inches of rain, which is insane. Winter weather precipitation will be likely on Saturday morning through the day Saturday in Arkansas and western Tennessee, mostly north of Interstate 40. Take a look at eastern Tennessee, North Georgia, and the Carolinas. Whew. Asheville, I called it. Black Mountain, Boone. You're going to see it soon. Heads up, Kyle. You're about to be shoveling a pile. Precipitation begins to creep into the region early Saturday morning with rain in Georgia, some light wind, precipitation in the mountains, including snow in the northeast. Heads up, Georgia. From there, things get interesting. The situation will begin to pick up Saturday afternoon with large accumulation Sunday into early Monday, which won't be a fun day. It will be a blizzard day and a record setter for most of western North Carolina, southern Virginia, and areas of Georgia, South Carolina, and many places in the southeast, because the beast in the southeast is hitting. Record snow, blizzard conditions, wintry mix, a significant amount of snow across the mountains of North Carolina. South Carolina, northeast Georgia is expected, but not certain. I love it. We'll end on that nonsense. Not certain. Winter storm watches issued for significant weekend snowfall. 9 to 16 inches for Galaxy and Floyd, Rocky Mount. Heads up, Virginia. We already told you last week to call the governor. Let's check out Joel Gratz's forecast, shall we? Following many powder days across central western U.S. and the northeast, the atmosphere will switch things up and snow will head towards the northwestern U.S., western Canada, as well as the southeast. Yes, the southeast. And it's not even winter or even Christmas. Spring break in the Canadian Rockies, totally schmuckies. Check out the Powder and Steamboat. 10 of 14 days since the resort opened on Thanksgiving. And the most recent powder day on Tuesday, Pow Day, December 4th, was the best yet, with a super soft base and 12 inches of the famous champagne pow pow. I'll show you how. Boom! Steamboat, Colorado, December 3rd. Thank you, Larry Pierce. And that's a boom. I love it. I love that outfit's amazing. I like the nail polish and I have that gun. Doesn't that look fun? Steamboat, Colorado, December 3rd, 2018. Thank you, Larry Pierce. That is fierce. Many other areas have enjoyed deep pow days, including Cali, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado. These states are about to see drier weather as the atmosphere shifts the storm track northwest and southeast. This is what you're looking at for the next 48 hours. Lake effect in the northeast. We're buried out here in a light slathering of the global warming goodness. Take a look at how these models develop. The Pacific Northwest can see the first hints of a more active storm track, including the Olympics, which are expected to get 5 to 10 feet of snow in the next 10 days. Heads up, Washington. The Cascades will be buried, as well as western North Carolina. Take a look, Saturday through your Sunday. We have snows from New Mexico through Texas, most of Oklahoma. Heads up, Arkansas. Touching misery. Many, many other states. Paducah, Kentucky. It's going to get plucky. And look at the 12 to 16 inches predicted for South Carolina in the first 9 days of December. A December to remember, as I said in a video I posted earlier. During the second full week of December, there are 2 areas in the US and Canada that will be favored for snow. The first area is the southeast, where the storm from the weekend may linger into Monday, and another storm may head that way later in the week. Other areas of the Pacific Northwest, which should see a steady stream of storms, one after the other, all week, burying that region in record-setting snow unseen since the 1800s. We're going to watch it closely. These are models, but there is some truth to them, and the truth will set you free. Amen. Let's get on with the update. And that's a boom. Many more good booms to come. This is my favorite boom ever. I just want to point out that we're looking at the National Weather Service radar mosaic, and it has not shown any snow where I am all day on the model here. This is actually supposed to be a satellite radar. I don't know if they're tuning it down, but we got 3 or 4 inches out here, and I've talked to many people in this area. Pagosa's buried. I showed you the model from Joel Gratz. The actual radar is showing no snow, and it's snowing out right now. I'll make a video in the morning to prove it. There is no snow showing in Archuleta County, which is currently being buried in snow. And this is a live radar feed. You picking it up? That's a boom. Watch it. Sorry. Let me get rid of that. Yeah. Much better view. And that's a boom. Do we have the bandwidth? Oh, yeah, we do. There it is. So, National Weather Service radar mosaic, not that truthful. Let's check the GFS model. So this is much more truthful because it shows that in the next 24 hours we're going to get more snow, which is predicted in this region. Heavy snow in southern Arizona here, whew, south central. That's amazing. And it's blazing. Wow, we have a new model. Let's take a look. Whew. And there's that secondary storm. Heavy snow in New York State, western New York State, the central Appalachians of PA, all the way down through Virginia's into North Kakalaki, which is going to be the bullseye, which now the heavy snow is moving all the way to the east in the new model. Heads up. The areas that are bluish are 12 inches or higher. That's a foot or more. Dark blue means 2 feet. And look at this white zone. 56 inches predicted through December 16th in British Columbia in this spot, which would be 80 inches over here in the center of the white. And here's the Olympia National Forest buried. And then this gray and white zone throughout the Cascades, heavy snow, even into Oregon. What a reprieve. What a ski season. What a grand solar minimum. What a boom. Heads up. Anybody got a cigarette? Southern storm to bring ice and snow from the southern plains to the Appalachians. Heavy rain from southeast Texas to Georgia. Look at the winter storm warnings and watches across New Mexico, the panhandle of Texas. Lubbock, you can't even believe it. Lubbock or leave it. Oklahoma, warnings everywhere. Southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, heavy flooding watches and warnings for 222 counties through eastern Texas and most of Louisiana. Winter storm warnings and watches coming in now in western North Carolina, western Virginia. Call the governor. Lake effect snows, winter storm warnings and watches, New York State. Click on your county for safety. Take a look. Thunderstorm warnings and watches, flood warnings and watches for Southern Cali. Winter storm warnings and watches for Southern Cali. Can you believe it? You're living it. Of course you can. Get a grip. Smoke a butt. Whew. Let's fill that white screen with booms. This is a quadruple boom of doom. Heads up. Check out the cows slaughtered by massive hail because of increased cosmic ray flux, our sun shutting down, and us entering the grand solar minimum. Monster hail hammers Aussie wheat belt, kills cows in South Africa, blankets desert in Saudi Arabia. Farmers are counting the costs of hailstorms, heavy rain, and strong winds that tore through the central Aussie wheat belt Monday afternoon. More than 40 millimeters of rain was dumped in places, while crops were pelted with 3-centimeter hailstones, and lightning strikes caused spot fires. West African farmer President Tony York said of his family's 1,300 hectare wheat crop, about 300 hectares was destroyed. It's very disappointing. Although we are protected financially through insurance, we are not getting the reward delivering of what could have been a very promising crop after watching it grow all year. Crop destroying hail in Aussie wheat belt. In addition, Syme had 500 hectares of canola and lupins wiped out. We need to wait for the crop to dry out and the insurance assessors to come to determine whether we'll put the header through the wheat, he said. That's a header through the wheat. Whew, that's amazing. Okay, bear with us. And that's boom. Just watch that all night. Iceland glaciers are expanding for the first time in decades. Grand solar minimum much and such. According to the researchers from the University of Iceland, all Icelandic glaciers are projected to expand this year. This would make it the first time the glaciers would have shrunk year on year in a quarter of a century. Wouldn't have shrunk. My apologies. The researchers were shocked by the discovery, including Vantajökull, Langjökull, Hofskjöl, and Mývatnsjökull. They've all expanded in the last 12 months, from autumn to autumn, with Mývatnsjökull showing a really significant addition of ice this year. This is unusual over the last 25 years, according to Al Gore and project manager Finu Pachon. Yeah, most of these glaciers have been shrinking, like a pinking, so that the warmists can utilize them for their nonsense. But the nonsense is ending. Do you hear the message I'm sending? Tsunami travels 200 meters, 650 feet inland, damages a school, and wipes out 2 homes in Vanuatu. There was a tsunami warning, but there was a small island affected here, Mystery Island, north of the quake. Got a shake by quite a wave. It destroyed the village in some areas. Minor tsunami as it was. This was the bullseye for the tsunami. And it came up on a small island here from New Caledonia quake, and it damaged the village. Check out the pictures. No loss of life. Damage to houses, taro patches. Nothing significant. Warning gets louder as new study backs predictions of 8.5 magnitude earthquake in the Himalayas. The researchers followed the local geology and structural map published by the Geological Survey of India. Besides using Google Earth and imagery from Indian Space Agency, ISRO's Cartosat-1 sat, say that if you can, growing warnings by scientists of an impending high-magnitude earthquake in the Himalayas have gotten further credence from yet another study by Indian researchers. The new study, led by seismologist C.P. Rajendran of Jawaharlal Nehru Center for the Advanced Scientific Research of Bengaluru, says the enormous stacking up of strain in the region portends at least one earthquake of magnitude 8.5 or more. Yes, in one of the overlapping segments of the central Himalayas anytime in the future. They are, in fact, in a 500 to 700 year drought for major quakes. And these quakes come periodically, cyclically, and they are due. An earthquake of magnitude 8.5 or more is way overdue in this part of the Himalayas, given long elapsed time. Considering this potential high seismic risk, this will be particularly catastrophic for the region, marked by an ever-growing population and unhindered expansion of the built-up environment, to be contrasted with poor preparedness to meet this contingency, Diamond and others said. Totally fluxed in the Himalayas. Heads up. It's about to go down. Seismic update. No quakes of note. Moderate uptick worldwide. Nothing significant. Lots of tremors in the Aleutians in southern Alaska. Put it in Nebraska. Little worried about this quake in the Banda Sea at 338 kilometers about a half a day ago. Could see larger activity up at the surface here in 12 to 24 hours. Keep an eye on the Banda Sea. I told you. I told you what to look at. And then I showed it to you. Boom. Heads up. Global warming today mirrors conditions during Earth's largest extinction event. University of Washington study totally fabricates. Here showing the melting iceberg. If humans continue to pump greenhouse gases at our current rate, we will mimic massive volcanic eruptions in the past. This is a complete farce. If you can get through the article, send me the synopsis. All I gotta say, gotta go. RT, massive solar flare to bring chaos, inflict $2 trillion in damage. Banks outrageous predictions that in 2019, as we enter solar cycle 25, solar flares are going to destroy the planet. That's so, I got bad news for you, RT. Solar cycle 25 is not going to start till 2020, first of all. And the rest of what you say is nonsense. But when the solar flare does come off the sun and the grid gets destroyed, it will cost way more than $2 trillion. And the population will be greatly reduced in a short period of time. And those that survive will be prepared for any eventuality. That's the only way it'll work. When a killer climate catastrophe struck the world's oceans, the worst extinction in Earth's history offers chilling predictions for the planet's future. Yes, because climate is cyclic. And humanity cannot keep climate doom at bay. There's no way. But you can be prepared for it. So this is another nonsense article, clearly coming from the Atlantic. What caused ancient mass extinctions? Not humans. Cosmic rays. Volcanic outbursts triggered the cataclysmic event that you're living. You have nothing to do with it, but they're going to blame it on you. They will blame it on you. Get them. Go get them. Because they're going to blame it on you. Have you thought about it? What happens when they blame it on you? They've been blaming it on you for decades. And you're putting up with it. Some of you are picking up what we're putting down, but you're putting up with it. A new study in Thursday's journal Science used complex computer simulations to plot out what happened after the volcanoes blew. And it wasn't global warming. It led to ocean temperatures rising 20 degrees, which then starved the seawater of oxygen. That hot oxygen starved the water, causing the mass marine die-off, and wreaked havoc on weather systems across the globe. And after the volcanoes blew, the level of heat-trapping carbon dioxide soared to a level more than 12 times what is today. But what they don't tell you is that it cooled the earth. It didn't make it hot. Because they're still sticking with the narrative. Associated Press much? Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. And you're living it. one of my heroes, Philip K. Dick, once said, fake realities will create fake humans. Or fake humans will generate fake realities and then sell them to other humans, turning them eventually into forgeries of themselves. And we are on the precipice of this reality, which, by the way, is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Russia seeks to feed the whole planet. Russia seeks to expand its agricultural exports to control the world, ultimately seeking to feed the whole planet. Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev said, the Prime Minister's statement comes as the country enjoys a record surge in grain exports because their scientists know exactly what's going on with the climate, and they've adjusted their farming accordingly. Unlike other countries that many of you live in, extreme cold in China sparks blue and orange alerts, freezes eyelashes and eyebrows. What's up with those masks? What the fuck is up with that? Why would you live there? Citizens with frozen ice on their faces are seen December 5th, 2018 in Hunablu, Inner Mongolia, autonomous region of China, which I heard was finer. Northern China is experiencing extreme cold this week with temperatures lower than minus 43 degrees Fahrenheit, which is approaching some of the coldest temperatures ever recorded on Earth. The province was under an orange alert, the second highest the country's alerts, Monday through Wednesday because the dangerous temperatures, according to local news site ncs.cn, in the Hebei province, including Xinjiang, were under a blue alert on Wednesday. The cold spell is likely to last in the region until Friday and will have a negative impact on local agriculture, transportation, logistical centers, and infrastructure. Heads up. 404 not found. Fake realities will create fake humans, or fake humans will generate fake realities and then sell them to other humans, turning them eventually into forgeries of themselves. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. And this page does not want to load. Extreme cold disrupts China's northeast, but tourists love it. It's like, oh, look at the snow and the ice. There's no more crops. We all starved to death. Solar storm predicted for today, threatening blackouts, and fearmongers the world over are full of it. But winter is coming. Earth could be plunged into darkness tomorrow with solar winds having the power to affect satellites, knocking out GPS and mobile phone signals and satellites such as Sky TV. A surge of particles can also lead to high currents in the magnetosphere, leading to more fear and alcoholics to need the near beer. CMEs are good at producing auroras and even better at frying the grid and sending us back to the Stone Age. The country could be bungled into a blackout because it's not prepared enough for these powerful storms, the Met Office told ministers. Whew. That's some serious shit, man. Winter's coming. But, all booms aside, we're about to download the facts, so just sit tight. SpaceWeatherNews.com is showing us nothing on the GOES X-ray flux. Plasma density did increase, but just minor, and the speed will follow. I don't expect anything above KP4. If it peaks at 5, it will be for 3 hours, which will not cause any blackouts. Maybe some small perturbations to the grid, but very minimal. There's no evidence to suggest otherwise, but the people that write this garbage, they have no background and no basis in instilling fear in the masses to begin with. Because no one seems to remember that every other time they threatened something like this was going to happen, nothing happened. Stick with the winners. Winter is coming. Snow is falling everywhere. Oppenheimer Ranch Project Preparedness Store supports our channel while it supports your friends and family's preparedness. We have a library. We just put in portable heaters, including solar heaters. These are all the top of the line models you would buy for Christmas anyway that were researched by us. Typically 4 stars or better. Telescopes, greenhouses, survival seats, seed banks, thermal imagers, UVA-BC meters, Geiger counters, hatchets, survival essentials. There is something you can find for someone you love that may save their arse. Just may do it. That's a boom. We're not here to scare you. We're here to prepare you. Times are changing. The facts are in. It's boom time. Are you prepared? Be safe.